is trending in sports. Now, here's your host, Davide Disipio.
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Good morning. This is Trending in Sports live on Facebook. I'm your host and voice of the Ottawa Jr Senators of the CCHL, Davide Disipio. My guest here this morning is Ottawa Jr Senators captain Thomas Freel. Thomas, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Davide.
All right, Tommy, as we gear up for another week in what is a busy schedule for your side and what is the rest of the CCHL, how is your team and yourself personally coping with what is a busy schedule ahead with 13 games in the month of February?
Yeah, I think it is a super busy schedule. I don't know if everyone has really gone through like this before. I think we were pretty fortunate to only have 2 games in that first week, so we kind of got to ease into the schedule a bit more, but I noticed that we play quite a few games this week, and then in the following week, I think we have 5 games in 6 days. So I think it's all about just trying to stay fit, whether it's in practice, whether it's in the gym, just make sure everyone's body's feeling as close to 100% as often as we possibly can. And I think with having such a deep lineup, then it's easy to be able to share ice. No one's carrying the load too much, and we'll be able to roll through these games.
Recap the first couple of games for me here. You pick up a 3-2 win on Wednesday against Hawkesbury, which wasn't the best start for your team, but then you rebound on Saturday with a huge 3-1 win over the Renfrew Wolves. What were you seeing from your team, and how did you manage to lock down 2 close games?
Yeah, I mean, I think that every team sort of was in the same situation in terms of not having very many practices before their first game back. We were only able to practice really on that Monday and Tuesday. So execution and team systems were a bit rusty because it had been so long since we had played together. So personally, I thought the game on Wednesday, being able to pull out that win against Hawkesbury, who's a really good team, made a couple of really big trades at the deadline as well. So they're a very improved squad. And I think being able to pull out that win in a really emotional and hardworking effort, I thought it showed some good signs, and once we cleaned up the execution and team systems, we'd be right back to where we were before Christmas. And then that one on the weekend as well. Renfrew's been a really good team. They've given us some really good games. And I think once again we were able to show like we can play with emotion, we can play hardworking hockey, play physical hockey. So I think it was a pretty successful first week. Of course, there's still a lot of stuff to clean up, but I think overall there's a lot of positives to take off that first week back.
You talk about a lot of chemistry, but chemistry has been something that your line mates, Julian Racine and Simone Isabel, who you've been with for a majority of the season, have had together. Over 100 points combined between your trio. Martin Dagenet, who is the governor of the team, has indicated that it's the first time in a long time he's felt like he's had the number 1 line in the league. Where's all that chemistry come from, and how do you guys complement each other so well?
Yeah, I think chemistry sort of comes with like repetition with playing with each other for so long. We were fortunate enough to play together last year in that sort of makeshift season we had with those exhibition games at the start of the year. So we got to know each other that way. And I think we play 3 very different games. I think I'm more of the net front guy that's going to be in the corner. Jules is so skilled and he's able to make those passes, and Izzy's speed is nothing like I've seen before. So I think we bring 3 different things to the game, and we're able to work together, and we're, like you said, that chemistry is starting to form, and we're able to see where each other are going to be before it happens, and I'm excited to see what we can do for the rest of the year.
You're approaching your 100th game in the CCHL, all with the same organization. First off, how does that feel to approach that big milestone with one team, and how do you put a bow on what you've experienced in the league so far?
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty special. I've been with OGS for so long, and I'm very thankful and grateful for everything the organization's done for me. It's nothing quite like Ethan Mulhern or Bailey Brent were able to do in terms of number of games, but yeah, it'll be nice. I haven't really thought too much about it. I'm just trying to focus on game by game and not to think of the numbers overall. But
yeah, you're named the team captain prior to this year, and what were some of the, I guess, words of wisdom or leadership qualities that you took from past captains of the team before, whether it was Ethan Mulhern, who's now at Hobart College, Owen Cole the year before that at UMass Lowell now, who just picked up his recently first NCAA goal. And then the year before that, although you were call-up in that season, but Darcy Walsh, who had a first crack at NCAA hockey at RMU back last year. What did you learn from them, and what are you looking to, I guess, sprinkle on some of the younger players in the room this year?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think that I'm like the 20-year-old, the older guy now, because it didn't even seem that long ago when I was the younger guy in the room. But for sure, when I was had the opportunity and was named captain, it was a great honor. And the first guy I reached out to was Owen Cole, because in my mind he's probably the best captain I've played for, and I thought he did an amazing job of sometimes captains struggle to find the in between being a teammate, being a leader, being able to be hard on the guys and push everyone to their limits, but at the same time being able to just be another one of the guys and be very approachable. And I thought he balanced those two sides very, very well. So I reached out to him and he gave me some words of wisdom, and he said stuff like, just make sure you're the hardest working guy all the time. You can say what you can say, but at the end of the day, if you're not backing up and being that guy who follows through with your own words, then how are they supposed to follow through with what you're saying as well? So he gave me some great words like that. And at the end of the day, he also said stuff like, everyone has their own sort of leadership style. Don't try and focus on how past captains have done it. Just, you'll find your feet, you'll do it yourself. So I really appreciated those words, and I thought he was a great captain for me.
And you talk about a captain and past captains of your time with the Ottawa Jr Senators, but your team at the trade deadline picks up a captain in Jake Code from the Carleton Place Canadians. And we all know, for those who follow the CCHL, the rivalry between CP and OJS over the last couple of years with meeting in the championship series. But just recap your team's trade deadline that solidifies their top six with the acquisition of Jake Code, and then some toughness on the back end in Isaac Landry, and then a couple of signings, Sam Grabner on the back end, and then in goal, picking up the likes of Colin McKenzie, who was sent down from the OHL. What do you make of your team's trade deadline, and how does that complement your existing group going forward down the stretch?
Yeah, I think we had a good trade deadline. I think this trade deadline was pretty weird compared to other ones, considering we were in the middle of lockdown and some people weren't sure what was going to happen after the lockdown had ended, if we were going to come back right away or whatnot. But I'm glad that we were able to go out there and make some trades, make some big pickups. Coder is a guy that I've known and played against for a while. Back in CCHL Tier 2, we played against each other, and he played for CP and I played for OJC. So I knew what he was about, and I thought he that right-handed shot is exactly what we needed to add in our top six. So I was really happy to see that we had got him. Obviously, the flip side of trades is seeing who goes the other way, and I've been playing with Mark McPhee for a while now, and Aiden Cooper I had become very close with. So it was unfortunate to see those guys go, but I think Jake Code's exactly who we needed to add to our lineup. On the back, Landry, I've known Landry, friends of friends, for a while. He's a great guy, and he is that guy that'll run to the wall for the team. That very first game, he blocked 2 or 3 shots consecutively on the PK, and it's stuff like that you don't really teach, that hard work. So I think that's really the sort of grit that we needed to add back there. Macker, he's a great guy. I've only spoken to him a few times, unfortunately, because I think he's still out with a little bit of a niggle. But overall, he's a great guy, and I'm really excited for him to join the group. Sam Grabner is also a really great guy. He's been playing OJC for the start of the year, so I know that's a great program down there. I know Stu's been taking care of him and making sure he's Junior A ready. So I'm excited to see what he can bring for us for the rest of the year.
Recap your season personally here. Top 5 in the league in points. You lead the Ottawa Jr Senators in goals with 19 after you led the team in goals back a couple of years ago with 26, which ultimately matches your jersey number. But what was your game plan heading into the year, I guess, team personally wise, as you're in search of what could be your next step following this year?
Yeah, I think everyone sort of focuses on their own personal goals going into the season, and of course it's been on the back of my mind too. But I think I play the best hockey when I have the team goals in mind first, and personal success sort of just follows. So I've been trying my very best to try and stay away from the point streak leaders and stuff like that. Goals will come, points will come, but I think playing good hockey is what creates those chances, what creates those goals. Sometimes the pucks bounce for you, sometimes they don't. So, of course, I'm looking to play somewhere next year. I'm looking to continue my hockey career as well as my educational career. But overall, my goal coming into the season was leaving here as a Bogart champ. I was able to get a little taste of that when I was 17 and I was a call-up, and it was not even being on the team, not even really fully going through what those guys had gone through that season. It was one of the best feelings I've had, just being in that room and seeing how much it meant to everyone. And then again at the Fred Page. So that's a taste of that success is something I really want to have for myself. And I think the guys on the team are all in that same mindset, and we're all really working towards that one common goal. So I'm excited to see what we can do.
Yeah, we obviously won't forget your goal in the semifinals of the Fred Page Cup, and then which ultimately teed up the game winner at the buzzer. But looking forward now, your team has a busy week, 3 games this week, starting off Wednesday at home against the Brockville Braves, followed up by a Saturday night rematch with Renfrew, and then ending things off Sunday afternoon in Nepean. But let's focus on the game at hand tomorrow. It's a Brockville team that you've beaten 3 times already this season, coming back into the Jim Durrell Recreation Complex again. What are you looking for from a team that obviously made a couple more moves at the deadline and has really showed up to take a run at it here come the spring? What are you looking forward to in this game tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's 2 really skilled teams, 2 really hardworking teams. I think Brockville has one of the best top 6s in the league. Some of the moves they made at the deadline were phenomenal. I know they were unfortunate from their perspective to be losing Evan Boucher, although he's had some great success early on in the queue. I still think they've got a really, really good top 6 in there. And they picked up a goalie after the season started who's also been really strong. So it's going to be a really good game. I think both teams are well managed, well structured. And I think for Wednesday night at Jim Durrell, nowhere else you'd really want to be. So I'm excited to see what the game's going to be like.
All right, Thomas, thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck tomorrow night and throughout the rest of your season, and continued success.
Yeah, thank you very much, Davide, for having me.
And now I know